So today we're going to do quadratic formula. So whenever you get a quadratic equation, which looks like this, a x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So whenever you get a quadratic equation, you can plug it into something called the quadratic equation. The quadratic equation is minus b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a, where a would be whatever number is in front of the x squared, b is whatever number is in front of the x here, and c is the number at the end. And now let's start off with question number 1. As we can see, this is a quadratic equation. 3x squared plus 7x minus 13 equals 0. So the first thing we want to identify with the quadratic formula is what's a, what's b, and what's c. So whatever's in front of the x squared, that will always be a. And whatever is in front of this x will always be b. And whatever the last number is, that will be c. The minus is with the 13. So in this case, a equals 3, b equals 7, and c equals minus 13. Now that we have identified what a, b, and c are, we're now going to plug it into the formula. So first you want to get the fraction up and write minus. And whatever you're substituting in, you want to have that in brackets. So b was 7, so I'm going to put that in brackets like that. Then I'm going to write plus, and then I'm going to do the square root sign, and then do b squared. So first write brackets, because whatever number you're substituting, always write that in brackets. Take away 4 lots of a and c. So a was 3, and c was minus 13. Now we go down and we have to do 2a, so 2 lots of 3, which gets us the answer as 1.1, so sorry, 1.21. And now to get the other answer, we have to go back up to our equation and change the sign here and make it go from a plus to a minus, and that'll get our other answer, which is minus 3.55 to 2 decimal places. Now that we've got the answers, now we can write x equals 1.22 and x also equals minus 3.55. And now moving on to question number 2. So we've got 2x squared plus 6x minus 95 equals 0. So we know this is a quadratic equation because you have an x squared here. Okay, so whatever number is next to the x squared, that has to be a. So a equals 2. Whatever is next to the x has to be b. So we know b has to equal 6. And we know c has to equal minus 95. And now let's plug this in the calculator. So now I'll write the final answers down. So we got x equals 5.55 and we got x equals minus 8.55. And now moving on to the last question. We've got 9x squared minus 17x minus 85. So let's first identify a, b, and c. We know the 9 has to be a, so we know a has to equal 9. This whole thing is with the minus 17, so this is next to the x. So we know this has to be b, so b equals minus 17, and the minus 85 then has to be c. So c equals minus 85, and now we're going to plug that into the equation. So now let's write our final answers down. X equals 4.16 and x equals minus 2.27.